For me, translation has been first and foremost a relationship to a particular place and its people, which is also my personal heritage. I was born in Romania and I left when I was 2 for the States with my family as refugees from the communist regime. So I grew up with a very common immigrant experience where I was spoken to in Romanian and then I answered in English once I learned English. I only started translating Romanian literature when I went back to Romania, which was first on a Fulbright, and then when I decided I was going to live here. For me, translation isn't merely a linguistic exercise. I felt I needed to build up a store of material and cultural memories of my own. And that is the way that elevators in old communist blocks smell, or the sounds on a busy boulevard, the shared pleasure of a breeze at an outdoor cafe on a really hot day in the summer. Even if these things never show up as such, literally in the things that I translate, they exist for the writers, and I wanted them to exist for me as well. I wanted to host the moods that these things created. Translation has also been a way for me in which I've been welcomed back to Romania. It's a way of connecting with other writers as well as recuperating the culture that I've missed. And though I've translated some older literature, which has captivated me, right now I'm particularly interested in translating contemporary poetry and prose by living writers. With the writers I've met, I can literally imagine their voices as I work on my translations of their writing. Unsurprisingly, I'm particularly drawn to aspects of place in the works that I translate. For example, I lived in Iași for a year and a half, and it figures disproportionately in the poems I've chosen to translate. In my translations, I want to transport my readers to these places, but without losing any of the strangeness that comes from really seeing a place and noticing the things there. Literature has this way of making the unfamiliar familiar, and vice versa. And perhaps in that way, translation is a kind of hyperliterature.